Oh, we might as well record our own separate streams.
Okay.
That way we do have a backup in case.
It sounds
someone
a
can't get
hint
it to
better.
me.
It sounds a hint better when it's our own recordings.
Yeah.
Than over Zoom, and there's less opportunity for lag.
I don't do well with hints. Like like you got to hit me over the head with shit. Like there's got to be pops and scratches. Like, oh, that sounds terrible. Before I change my mind. I'm not an audiophile. I'm not.
No, you're definitely not. You are definitely not an audiophile.
Just give it. Can I fucking hear it?
It's actually funny because I feel like knowing you personally and your personality, I think you should be, but you're not. I think what you are is you're really. I imagine that you're really detail oriented in work, but since this is not work, it's just like fuck it.
It's fun. No, that's sort of true. Because the way that I would say it is like I still think of this as a product that gets put out that people care about, but there's like those people who are audiophiles. Like it's just us talking. Like this isn't an aria, right? This isn't a symphony. Just like it's fucking cool.
You like to recognize a product for what it is, not necessarily have to be for what the product is. It's not necessary to hit a certain tier of quality in your eyes in terms of audio.
Like the vinyl recording. We are the vinyl recording where if anyone wants CD, HD, then they can get that. But what I particularly loved about that a second ago, Jonesy, was that Jammer was threatening you with a banana while he was and it doesn't come across well on the podcast, but he was waving his banana at you. You listen here.
Yes, his banana.
It's really good. It's really good.
Is everyone recording, by the way?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, we have evidence of the
Jonesy.
banana waving.
Well, I guess I'll have to use Zoom for the entire thing.
Let's
banana waving.
Yeah, right.
But Zoom is recording. Zoom is doing its thing.
Zoom's recording. I can see
Sometimes I can just use that.
Yeah. Zoom's moving.
Should I bother recording anymore? Or do we
I do use it unless it's broken. I'm not an audiophile either, but I've been doing it for I don't know. I've probably been spending too much time on it. It sounds like
no, it doesn't.
All of it and cut out like every
just because Jonesy doesn't appreciate it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate.
You know what I do appreciate? I appreciate like production values. Like if I'm listening to a thing and the audio cue comes in right when someone's talking, or if the trailer hits right when someone says like, "All right, here's the movie that we're going to be talking about." Boom,
you're all about those broad stroke differences, those big ones. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know why? Because those people who were like, "Oh my god, the grain in my ear," like they are few and far between. So
also fuck them.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
It's like that's the impression I'm getting. Is like you were about to say that, but then you kind of went you went off the other way.
It's like he was talking about with like types of content. Like people are like, I need to see Nolan in IMAX, but I don't need to go even to the theater to see like Knocked Up or something.
It's true.
That's the argument I think you've made before, Jay, that comedies aren't as important to see at theaters as an action spectacle.
My favorite part was the look on Jammer's face. It was like a frown, like as you're making that analogy. He's like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess you're right. Knocked Up.
I can see it.
I don't know why
those movies don't look especially good. Well, I mean, they don't look especially great. There's not a lot of emphasis put on the visuals, so I get it.
Like Rocket Man didn't have great visuals.
How dare you? How dare you?
Here comes the
Did you watch any of those clips that I sent from Rocket Man? To be clear, listener, not Rocket Man, not the Elton John movie, but the movie starring Harlan Williams from Disney back in like '97 or whatever the hell that was.
I can proudly say that I did not waste 1 second not clicking. Like I saw the title and I was like, nope, fuck this. Move on to the next thing.
Oh, come on.
I didn't watch it either, but if a movie were available to stream, I would watch the entire film. Which is
really
weird. After hearing you describe it with like the monkey getting into the pod and shit, I was like,
Good.
We're safe, guys. We're safe. Jammer doesn't have enough bananas to threaten us all. We're good. We can sit here and say none of us watched it.
I have a half banana.
See?
Oh! It's been unwrapped.
Unwrapped. It's been circumcised.
Yep. That's what I was doing.
Oh no. Poor banana.
Anyway, I know we have like a lot of stories that we kind of want. Should we sync?
Oh yeah, we should. Because I'll probably be using this.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Good job.
You got to do it like a band director. You got to like, You got to bring.
I don't fucking
stop.
Dude. I am the most musically disinclined person you could possibly meet. So,
but it's fun. It's fun to pretend. Yeah.
I feel I even like music.
I have this band friend who's a band director at like a high
Notice he's
school.
ignoring you, Nick. I haven't noticed I haven't forgotten that he's ignoring you.
I'm not gonna lie, like I actually didn't hear you because my mind was on the thing that I was going to say. So it's
called the Nick Dahl effect.
Yeah.
I think he sounds more like a Malcolm. He's already thinking about his argument before Marie gets the next thing out.
I have made it my mission this week to eat macaroni and cheese, but I realized my roommate has eaten all of it.
Can he do it?
And I left
Find
my
out
milk
next
out.
week.
I left my milk out last night, so now I can't cook any.
The stakes have
Look,
never been
guys,
higher.
Nikki
for Nick
likes
Dahl. Yeah.
So yeah, we do have a lot of news stories. Some of them aren't actually like big time news things to mention. Like the story about Chinatown Detective was really, there were a couple of things to it. One, we like Avengers here in America. We like our Avengers. But it was the fact that this movie in a COVID-ish environment has just crushed expectations. And so it made...
In China.
Well, China is a huge part of the market, right?
Well, but yeah, it is. But I'm just saying in China, and I feel like it's worth pointing out, isn't, and I may have ignorance on this, but isn't the COVID atmosphere a whole lot different in China?
Yeah. And so that's part of the question. It's part of the story. It's the idea that one, this movie made almost $400 million. So it made $398 million against Avengers $357 million launch. Yeah. And the other reason I wanted to bring it up is because I wanted to figure out like, all right, this doesn't sound like a movie that should have that huge of a following. But what I found out looking it up was basically that it's a combination of Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious. And I went, this is, Nixon doing the nod. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a thing. So I'm going to see if I can find the first one. I really want to watch it and I'll tell you guys what I think of it. But it just seemed like a fun.
Dragging us into this world. This whole new world of amazing. I mean, it's available on Tubi for free. It's also available.
Is it really?
Part of the Amazon Prime subscription. It's a part of Amazon Prime subscription, and
Amazon
you
Prime?
can watch on Apple TV Plus for $1.99.
You know what you did, Jammer? You just fucked up my whole weekend.
Wait. So it's on Amazon Prime? Should be our next movie.
Chinatown Detective, right? We're talking about the first one, Jammer, yeah?
He's frozen. He's gone.
He keeps freezing.
Jammer's dead, So yeah, I am I'm totally gonna look it up.
Does he not know he's frozen? It's like he's having an entire sentence.
Entire time.
And then he ends it. Jammer.
That was the perfect place to come back in. Exactly. That's right.
What happened? What did I say?
No idea.
Nothing.
You've frozen
for
twice,
like 30 seconds.
For like 30 seconds, and each time you come back, you're still talking like you didn't realize you were frozen.
I think maybe it was just a delay. But anyways, yeah, fuck it. Detective Chinatown 1. Let's do it.
Yeah,
doing it.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Adding it to the list.
Get onto this bandwagon.
I realized we missed an HBO Max movie, but I guess we don't need to hit them all.
What do we miss?
Judas, what, Black Judas and the Messiah or something like that?
No, you all missed it. I didn't miss it. It's excellent.
Oh, nice. Thought we were gonna do them all on the show, but
it's just opened on the big screen here this weekend. We've got it this weekend along with The Big Boss with Mel Gibson and Frank Grillo. It's just opened on the big screen here this weekend. Today, in fact.
I do. So I will say I do recommend that you guys watch it. It's incredibly depressing, and it's a true story. And being from Chicago,
wow, you're selling it. You are selling it. Depressing.
That's what it looks like. Have you seen the? I didn't even see the trailer. That's what it looks like.
Listen.
Honestly, if it's a movie about being black in America, I don't want to watch
60s,
it because it's depressing. No, fuck that.
In the 60s.
I'm sorry. I'd rather bury my head in the ground.
This is a category of movie that's typically referred to as like a black trauma movie, right? Like this is like just a film that is about this thing that happened in the past. They'll just make you angry.
Black Klansman, 12 Years a Slave, all of those movies.
I don't know. Black Klansman played it more for laughs. It was less serious.
I don't think I thought it was more serious than I thought it was going to be. I actually thought it was going to be funnier, and then it wasn't that funny to me.
I don't know. Prank calling David Duke.
I mean, it had its funny moments, but like it wasn't. I don't know. It had that depressing ass ending to it too.
I don't think that they were like shit posting on Master's House in 12 Years a Slave, right? Like shitting in a paper bag and setting on fire and running away. There were no moments of levity in 12 Years a Slave. So like, I feel like I hear what you're saying, but just a little different.
Like Django. That's what he meant to say.
No, Django is
movies like
too,
Django,
no,
super
Django,
serious, no laughs.
Django is too pulpy to be taken that seriously. Like, obviously, it's a serious subject matter, but like, no. But no.
D'Artagnan, motherfucker.
Anyway.
So yeah, it's incredibly depressing, but true story, really good, great performances. I'd be shocked if somebody didn't like at least get nominated for an Academy Award off the back of this movie. It's just it's sad and but definitely
the Academy will eat it up. They'll eat it up. Oh, depressing, beautiful performances. That's the air they breathe.
And they'll be like, "Oh wait, too many black people. Cancel."
Yeah, and they'll somehow be like
China.
Anyway, that's all I had to say. All I had to say.
I still remember the Black Panther reviews from China where they're like, it's just the screen's just too black. Like,
did they actually say that?
They did.
Wow.
Oh my
I did
word.
not hear that. You know, one thing I wanted to talk about last week that we didn't, that I also thought was great about Malcolm. Wait, was it last week? Malcolm and Marie, was that last week?
Last week.
Yeah. I also really appreciated the visuals because of sort of it was 35 millimeter nature of it, black and white 35 millimeter, because of sort of the racist history of film stock, how it was created with specific skin tone in mind, white skin tone in mind. So for the longest time, it was really difficult to capture darker skin. And the fact that they kind of went for this really hyper stylized visuals for like people of color, I thought was really cool that they were able to make it work. And like, it's just kind of for me like, oh, that's cool that we could do that now with, people with darker skin.
And then I watched Jammer's film that he made. Remember how he's like,
hell yeah, like, my film was way better.
Oh wait, did you make it? Did you post that?
Yeah, he put it on Facebook.
Facebook.
Oh, fucking Facebook.
I'll send it to the Slack channel.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
Or you know what? How about this? Not the Slack channel. I will send it to the Discord channel for LRM, and I'll upload it to the BGR Breaking Geek Radio Discord channel.
Yes,
exclusive premiere, worldwide premiere.
I'm gonna put it on every week's page on Breaking Geek. I'm just gonna put it at the bottom.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. I'm gonna find it.
I'm ready.
Please help jammersfilmcareer.com.
My body is ready.
So, how classic was the film for you, Nick?
Wait, we're talking about your film?
Yeah, my
I don't think
film.
Scorsese would consider it film.
This is actually perfect transition because I actually do want. I know it's on the list, but I do want to talk about that. No, because here's the thing: Martin Scorsese, and I apologize for this, Jonesy, but I actually was wanting to bring this topic up because I don't have a history of agreeing with people who are pretentious about movies and what they are and being like, oh, you shouldn't you should watch it on theater. This isn't film, blah, 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 all that stuff.
Here's a Netflix release for you.
However, he made a comment where he said that cinema is being devalued by calling it content.
Wait, this is Scorsese?
This is Scorsese.
Yeah, another stupid essay that pissed me off.
Yeah. He says, as recently as 15 years ago, the term content was only heard when people were discussing cinema on a serious level, and it was contrasted with and measured against form. Then gradually it was used more and more by people who took over media companies, most of whom knew nothing about the history of the art form or even cared enough to think that they should. Content became a business term for all moving images. A David Lean movie. What the fuck is David Lean? A cat video, a Super Bowl commercial, a superhero
He's obviously
sequel.
Insulting David Lean.
A series
of all this other stuff.
A series episode.
I hope he's dead.
It was linked, of course. It was linked, of course, not to the theatrical experience, but to home viewing on the streaming platforms that have come to overtake the movie-going experience, just as Amazon overtook physical stores. So I kind of agree on one level, and here's the level. So
then I will go to town on this.
Wait, but can you imagine like David Lean just somewhere like eating his breakfast, like sitting there, like just fucking hanging out? What the fuck? What the fuck? What is this shit?
Or is he like Scorsese knows my name?
I just imagine. So this is going to be a really random poll, but it reminds me of that moment in Trolls 2 where
I
where
remember that.
the part where they make a pinky promise, and then there's like this magical wave, and then like miles and miles away, there's a guy. He feels the wave. He's like, a pinky promise. Whoa! Like that reminds me of David Lean basically eating breakfast, and then a wave. Wow! Someone's talking about me.
You're killing me.
I'm sorry.
I like my angry David better. I want David to be angry.
Fuck. Jonesy, he is dead, Jonesy, by the way. So you're okay.
Aw.
So he's waking up in his grave going, whoa.
It's rolling over.
He was the director of Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, so he's using him as an example of something good versus negative shit.
Yeah, so why would he be angry? Unless he doesn't like Martin Scorsese. I bet you he didn't appreciate Martin Scorsese. Thought that was trash cinema back in like the 60s or whenever it was. That he
talk about his content?
Yeah, but to the term content, so I did talk about this a little bit about in an episode of LR Mornings this past week. Was it this week? Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, he said it this week.
No, but it was a slightly different context. The context was the changing of media and whether or not the way things are now, like there's basically the changes. And for me, the way things are now, yes, we have a lot of great content and there's like a lot of it, but at the same time, like, and that's good that we have a lot of content to watch, but it does kind of devalue everything as a whole. Because I know when growing up, I got a DVD. I watched the fuck out of that DVD because that was all I had for months, was that DVD. And you really get to know it. You really get to know the ebb and flow of a movie, the storytelling, the filmmaking, everything. Nowadays, we're just cranking out that content, blowing through everything like it's nothing. And because it is quote unquote content, it does devalue it. And it's actually something I'm torn about with my novel career, where it's like, do I put it on somewhere where it's, cheap and accessible and it's just something that people take in and shit out quickly? Or do I try to like value it higher so that when something hits, it's like something that an audience treasures and that they kind of take in slowly and then they watch it and appreciate it more for what it is? I mean, it's those types of things that I think today is devaluing. And to me, like, yes, maybe there's a more added value, but like, I think we are valuing each specific individual product a bit less by getting all of this avalanche of content on us.
Here's why he's full of bullshit, full of shit with what you just said. And you explained it better than I understood it, but here's why he's full of shit. I had a DVD too that I watched over and over again, my third DVD, and it was called Spider-Man. Scorsese would not consider that cinema, so how could that even be content?
Yeah, but I'm talking about some different from that.
No, but he said all these things. And I mean, how is his shit content if he's just throwing The Irishman on Netflix? Like, that's not content.
I mean, it is.
So it's all content. That's the whole point. The cat video is content.
It is, but here's my 2 cents about it. I think I'm of two minds about it. I understand what he's saying. I do 100% agree that the amount of content that we have out there does devalue it in some way, but in another way, it's a good way, because what it means is there is a democratization of all of this stuff. So all of the things that we use to make these things is becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's like even the fact that we're able to podcast from our homes, we've got audio equipment and microphones and all of this other stuff that allows us to make content. There are people who are making things that otherwise wouldn't have been able to in the era that he comes from. True. And there are people being seen making things on iPhones, not necessarily TikTok videos, but genuine quote unquote art that wouldn't be able to otherwise had the technology not become cheaper and more democratized. So in some respect, I think that he's just being pretentious about it. I do get what he's saying, because there are people at the top who just want to push stuff out just for the sake of money. But I also can appreciate the fact that the technology has become cheap enough where there are people out there making content that we otherwise wouldn't get.
And that's why again, I don't like it. He's being a gatekeeper. He's determining what is content and what is not content. Like I think he's insulting the viewer. And even more, he's insulting people who looked up to him, got in the film industry, are now working on a Marvel movie, not a Scorsese movie. And then he's just like, well, you're making shit, even though you wanted to be a director. Like James Gunn, maybe you were inspired by me. Your shit isn't real. Like, I'm making the real shit. It's me, Scorsese.
I think I'm trying to take his comments in a vacuum and sort of pick out what I think could be true about what he says. I agree with a lot of your comments. You don't like him. And based on his
because of
past
stuff
history,
he said.
because of stuff he said, I mean, yeah.
I do feel like he should sell that
characters.
line to SNL. Like, it's me, Scorsese. Like, that feels like something from an SNL skit.
It just walks into like any like. It reminds, have you ever seen that Idris Elba sketch on BBC?
No.
Where he's like, he claims he could do anything. Like someone's making coffee, he's like, get out of the way. He's like, it's me, Idris Elba. I know how to be a barista. He like tries to cure cancer and stuff too. Where he's like, oi, what are you doing over there? And he's like, we're trying to solve cancer. He's like, well, you haven't, had you? Well, I'm Idris Elba, rapper, like actor, blah blah blah. And then there's a theme song that goes, fuck, I'm Idris Elba. Fuck, I'm Idris Elba. So I imagine the Scorsese sketch like that, where he walks in anything, he's like, that isn't content.
Yeah.
Get out of my way, I'll make it content. He just signs his name sloppily on it, or like stamps people if they're content or not. I don't know.
If they're content, I think you're missing his point. His point is content.
Sounds like
has become a
89
dirty
Batman.
word.
Just comes in with the paintbrush.
And that's where you tie it in.
Now, I thought you guys didn't want to do it. You don't want to do it.
I want to do 89 Batman.
You want to do it? I didn't even look it up because I didn't think you guys want to do it.
No one said
I
anti
don't.
that.
I mean, I don't. You guys can. I just want to go for it. Go nuts.
I don't even want to do it. I didn't even look it up because I was like, hey, you guys want to do it? You're like, no, we don't do it. Here's the headline.
everything.
Here's the headline. The headline is that Batman 89 and Superman 78 are getting comic book sequels. I just think it's interesting.
And I wrote the article.
Batman 89 already got a sequel. It's called Batman Returns.
This is a sequel to Batman Returns, written by Sam Hamm, who wrote Batman and Batman Returns.
So the
And it'll
truth
feature
comes out. Nick
Two-Face as the
really
main
wants
villain.
to talk about it.
Sam Hamm. That's a pig's name.
That's what I've
Sam
always
Hamm.
thought. That's why I've always thought every time I've watched Batman turning it on. But so anyway, he's writing a direct sequel where Selina returns and Two-Face, the most cinematic Two-Face you've ever seen, is the villain, which means we're getting Billy D.
So it's
Williams
Batman
drawn
Forever.
as.
So it's Batman Forever.
Basically, it's what it would have been if Sam
Sam Hamm.
ham sandwich. That's what he thinks. And I don't know. No one's writing the Richard Donner stuff that's actually involved with Richard Donner originally. It's people who like his movies. But the Sam Hamm one is interesting. And,
That is interesting. That is Sam Hamm coming back.
And it's another one of their digital release firsts, where it'll be, I think they're dropping 6 in one day or 1 week, and you're getting like 6 more over the course of 6 weeks, and then it'll all be released in over several issues in comic print in October, November. But this starts in July.
Okay, so now that you've said it, I do have a question about it. Will this in any way tie into what they're doing with Michael Keaton?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, fuck it then.
Much earlier than we'll see him on the big screen, and no one's going to read this comic and consider it canon.
Don't care. That would have been an awesome way to tie those things together.
No, but no one's going to read it and see like no one reads comics anymore. Who watches
That's
these
how
movies.
that's how you pump it up. That's how you do the thing. Like, hey, this is where we're coming from. But anyway, so yeah, there's that story. You guys ready to talk about some Star Wars? What?
Danny has been so silent. Danny, do you have anything to say about content or Batman? No? Okay.
Like, I'm
moving on.
above Scorsese because my accent's even better.
Let's talk Star Wars.
Let's talk Star Wars. So, according to USA Today author Soraya Wilson, Rian Johnson's trilogy is still happening. So there were a lot of people worried because Disney had their investor meeting a few months ago, and there was just like no conversation, no word about this. But in an interview she had with Rian Johnson, she shared that this is still coming. There are no dates or timelines because he has other projects going on, but it is still happening.
Yep.
I assumed.
Yeah, I'm Jammer. I know you're excited about this and probably assume that it was still happening.
Well, not just an assumption. We like our own sources have also verified, have seconded. Then before that, like even like a few months ago, like yeah, it's still happening. We don't have anything on the slate. They're probably going to wait for things to die down a bit, but it's happening. Like they have, as of right, I don't know whether or not it's actually going to happen, but as of right now, the plan is for it to happen at some point.
Yeah.
I see the trilogy definitely coming out at some point, even if it's not all his by the end, or if it's an evolution of his script and he leaves.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you just take your time with it. Don't be like, oh, you have to have it done by this date. If you're Lucasfilm, just be like, go write good Star Wars and take your time.
What if he writes a mystery in space?
What if it's just a sequel to Knives Out, only they're suddenly in space and no one talks about it? Daniel Craig has the same Southern accent, just because now we have Southerners in space. Well, we had that Southerner in the Bill Burr episode.
We see a world trade not world. We see a trade federation ship, and he's like a donut hole in a donut's hole.
Those stupid ships. It's a knee slapper, Jammer.
Thank you.
Danny, how do you feel about this?
I'm excited about it. I've got no problems whatsoever about Rian Johnson coming back and making a trilogy. I think that was probably the best thing that he could have done and should have done in hindsight. I think to see 3 films from him that looking the way he directs and the way he does visuals, etc. Does visuals. He does it visuals better than I do English, but the way he frames things and the way he looks puts things on the camera and the way how pretty they look and how beautiful the shots are and stuff. I think it's fantastic. But anyway, jokes aside, I think it would be great. I think he is a great filmmaker. I think he gets it. I just think he needs a little bit of a helping hand, maybe with the Star Wars universe. So maybe Dave Filoni can be his like right hand man a little bit more. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's a good thing.
Okay,
absolutely.
Nick?
Oh, I'm obviously happy about it. The only reason I wouldn't be happy about this is if it prevents him from doing other fun original movies completely.
I mean,
because
it is going to on some level. That's the thing, is there's an opportunity cost. If he's going to make 3 movies in the Star Wars universe, that's going to take away 3 movies he's going to make by himself.
Look who's taking out economics class.
I know eventually,
right?
But like, you know, like even Nolan, he like does his Batman movie and then he's like, oh, and here's The Prestige. And then he does another Batman movie and he's like, here's Inception.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's Dark Knight Rises. It's like, no thanks.
So you're saying as long as it doesn't turn into Rian Johnson exclusively doing big budget movies, you're fine.
So he can keep doing big budget movies.
No, exclusively. Exclusively.
Well, I don't care if he exclusively does them. His original ideas can still be big budget movies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Knives Out is not a low budget film. It's still a super original.
As long as he doesn't exclusively do branded IP franchises, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
Absolutely.
And I agree with everything.
We got there.
Guys.
We
got there. Bring Daniel Craig back to space. Daniel Craig already was in Star Wars.
He's already a stormtrooper. He's there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He can save Tom Hardy's stormtrooper, who seemed like the most fun stormtrooper in the Empire, but was cut out of the film. Literally slaps like Finn on the ass. Like, woo!
That was a great. Yeah, he was like, that was a great line. He was just like, how about that?
He had a southern accent too.
Yeah, he's like, Captain,
I recognize you.
Yeah, I recognize you. I actually really upset they got rid of that moment. I thought it was an awesome moment.
That's my favorite scene in the movie, even though it's not. I like that movie, but that's the best goddamn scene.
Yeah, there were actually a bunch of deleted scenes from that movie. I'm upset about. All the deleted scenes I've seen from The Last Jedi, I feel like should have been in that movie.
Release the Johnson cut.
Yeah, I mean everything with John Boyega should have been in there. So that's that scene that you're talking about. Everything with Luke mourning the loss of Han Solo should have been in there. There was something. Oh, I think there was like some more Captain Phasma stuff. But yeah, all that.
Oh yeah, they had an alternate death scene for her.
Yep.
And I think it was better that way. I agree. I think it was better than the way it ended up in the movie.
Don't steal it's my time. It's a DC. My time as a DC fan to come up with an annoying hashtag that annoys the shit out of everyone for the next few years based on news today. And it's Matt Ryan for Constantine forever. Because they announced they're doing a Constantine show and they're looking for a lead.
A diverse lead.
No,
a diverse lead.
I know. Yeah, like the Riz, whatever his name is who they compare. They always say like this kind of type. Yeah, type. They said him. And I'm like, but just, I don't care what, as long as I still want him to have like a British accent because that's Constantine. But I don't care.
He's not going to have a British accent.
Why wouldn't he? He could be any race living in London.
Keanu Reeves didn't have
a British accent. And he's a terrible Constantine for that exact reason.
And just for that reason? Oh, he did mute him. That's funny. You have to unmute. Click unmute, Nick.
I know. I was trying to find my mouse. That movie was good.
Cat's got it.
But
what movie?
Constantine.
Oh, Constantine.
It's just terrible, terrible casting.
It's fantastic casting. I loved him. But, that's how it works. You have an opinion. I have an opinion. And what that means is we live in a society.
Oh, okay. We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Transition.
We live in a society.
We live in a society. What did you guys think about the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League trailer?
I loved it.
The trailer that came out after trailers all week long.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I really liked it.
It's not a new thing, though.
I know. No, it's not.
I thought it was great. It looks like exactly what I want. You know, from the opening shot with of Superman, you know, being held up by Doomsday and him going, oh, and then looking straight at the camera. Oh, if you look at it, it's actually really kind of funny, but it's, you know, slow motion. It's dramatic. Ugh. It's just like takes itself way too seriously. It's like feels like an adaptation of like a freaking Greek story, a Greek tragedy or something. It seems epic, and I'm all for it. You know, I'm all for this overly serious approach to the DC universe. I loved, you know, I thought Man of Steel was okay. I really loved the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, and I can't wait to get just sort of more of that complete flavor, that Zack Snyder trilogy, you know, because in retrospect, this is essentially what this is like. Kind of take these movies out of the DC universe altogether and just say like, okay, this is literally just the story of Superman. He's like, here, this is his story growing up and, you know, kind of donning the cape. This is him kind of deciding if humanity like is worth it. And then his full growth to become the Superman that everyone wanted, you know, in Man of Steel, or not everyone, but a lot of fans wanted in Man of Steel. He's finally becoming that Superman. And I'm excited to see that full character arc and vision come out here. And yeah, I'm excited. Give it to me. Put it in my mouth.
I like that you say it's his trilogy, or I would say the only character moment he has in Batman v Superman is dying. Like, that's a Batman film with a few scenes of Superman. That is not part of a
Superman
arc.
but I'm talking about, like, I mean, he had his arcs. Yeah, he did.
That's the movie that like he was like, I want to do a Batman movie, and then DC was like, but you're already doing a Superman franchise. It's kind of like this whole Joker thing. It's like, I want to put Joker in a movie, like we discussed last week, and it's like, well, I guess you can, because we're not hiring you again.
I mean, I disagree. I think,
and I don't even know if I think that's true.
What do you mean?
I think if this movie, I think that if this movie is successful, I don't know if he'll be a director again, but I think that they will bring him back into the fold as an executive producer or something like that, creative, to help continue to guide this universe. I mean, he literally had enough fans out there that have them dropping tens of millions of dollars making one of these movies. So
spending more on an ad campaign to get it made than it'll make.
I mean, we don't know.
We'll see.
I just don't think yeah. Anyway,
what did you think of the trailer, Nick?
The only footage that looks new is all the nightmare stuff. The rest of it feels like I've at least seen it in the last trailer. Like, nothing else looks new except for like Darkseid and Granny Goodness and like all that shit. Like, and I can't believe her name is that, but
fuck you, Nick. You did it again. Nothing is new except for this. I mean, except for this and this and this and all that
like,
stuff.
Most of the trailer, I have had people ask, I've seen it online where people are like, so is this like a director's cut, or like are these footage, like someone was like, is this footage he shot, or is this footage he had? And
yeah, but who the fuck are these people?
Exactly.
Who are these people though? Because if someone is asking that question, I don't really know what to categorize them as. Like, either they are people who didn't watch the other one or just didn't care enough. Because I feel like we're at a point where enough people know what this is.
Yeah, I still think it's an online community that knows what it is. Ask my best friend who doesn't know Twitter. He only knows it exists because of me. My parents who've seen every Marvel movie, they have no idea this is happening.
We still have a full month until this movie hits, and there's plenty of time for the advertising to clear that up.
I think it was a huge mistake not to show anything at the Super Bowl. Huge mistake. Like that.
I mean,
people would know about it then more than just.
You just talked about like why, like how this movie's not going to make money. Why would they spend Super Bowl money on not only the Super Bowl money, but the lowest rated Super Bowl in history or in recent history to promote a movie that you don't think is going to make any money?
Well, why'd they? I still understand why they gave him $70 million to make a movie that's not going to make any money after he's already lost. Anyway. Thoughts about
an advertising campaign to get people to buy HBO Max. This in and of itself is a very expensive commercial for HBO Max.
Which I don't think they're going to gain a lot of people on it. Like, I don't think most of the people see it like us, even if you're a fan or not, and they're like, oh, this is a whole new version. Most people just see it like, oh, You want me to join HBO Max for a director's cut? Like, I don't think most people understand that this basically is an entirely new movie, obviously, even if the trailers do not lead me to believe that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we have another month until
Yeah.
the movie hits. So there's a month until that happens, until they need to like kick it into high gear. I think they need to pace themselves. I think we'll probably see some stuff hit like 2 weeks before.
And I do dig the Joker, even though I don't think he needs to be there. I like what I heard the rumor of what he's wearing, and what's actually Jared Leto said this. He's like, I'm wearing and that's why I was confused why we didn't see it in the picture, but the picture looks like it literally was just a press picture, not in the movie. He says, I'm wearing a bulletproof vest, which he is in the trailer. He's wearing a SWAT vest. And he's like, and I'm surrounded by bloody badges of all the police officers I've killed, which we obviously don't see because we just see his, brief look at his face, and we live in a society.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm the only person in the world who actually, no, we'll get into that later. I want to hear what Danny has to say about this.
About what, the trailer itself or the whole the movies? The trailer itself, it was a lot of footage we've seen before. I felt like I was just watching another trailer for the Zack Snyder version of Justice League, etc. However, what I did see was still impressive. I particularly liked how Steppenwolf looked now. Those original shots with the shiny, shaky kind of armor, I wasn't convinced it looked a bit. Something looked a bit off, but in this new trailer, and you saw him moving and interacting, it actually came across a lot better. It actually looked a lot better, and that was the only thing from those previous, screenshots we had and teasers where I wasn't fully sold on the new special effects shots, but that looks better now. I'm excited about it. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to get to see it because we don't get HBO Max here, so it's going to be a little frustrating listening and hearing everyone's comments on it. But I'm excited.
They gotta give it to you somehow. They want money.
I mean,
like POV.
Well, we have
theatrical.
Yeah,
even,
we have this thing called OSN. OSN is our satellite, our Sky News or Sky TV.
Yeah,
if you're familiar with how the UK works, but that's an extra subscription that I'm certainly, and actually is a fair point going back to the HBO subscriptions. I'm not going to get OSN just to watch this. So it's a fair comment about how many extra subscribers HBO Max will get. But I'm hoping there's another way to watch it. I'm even wondering whether or not they'll do a big screen version of it.
That's what I was just thinking. Why not?
Whether it'll be just
in your part of the
example,
world.
we've got this week. We've got Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring playing on
so
IMAX,
do we.
And then next week the second one, and then the third week, obviously the third one. And maybe this is something they can do if it's broken down into 6 hours. Am I correct? Is it 6 hours of a film or 4 hours? Or something? The new
four.
So maybe it will be two weeks. Maybe they could edit it into 2 weekly releases of this or something and actually have it on the big screen.
He has said
no idea about that.
When it gets theaters, he'll put in a 10-minute intermission. So I don't think he'll be like a part 1, part 2. Because this still is, as far as I understand it, part 1 of his script.
Yeah.
Fair chunk, right?
But I feel like he's reshot enough that he can end it, not just end it on a cliffhanger, is what it looks like.
Didn't Deborah Snyder, though, say that they didn't actually shoot a lot of footage?
She said a bunch of things this week.
I saw a quote that said that they only really shot one
scene,
big scene, and that was the one, I believe, with Joker, right? So the rest of it must have just been footage that they've maybe re-edited, added effects, or put together, spliced together, etc. Because they didn't shoot a lot of footage, according to the little quote I saw that Deborah Snyder had given. Not sure.
And I heard you guys see the news story that originally Warner Brothers was going to release his cut, just not do special effects and stuff, and just be like, here's what his cut would have looked like. Like a working cut.
That would have been.
No, I hadn't heard that. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I'd rather see this than that, honestly.
Sure.
Because Darkseid is looking better every trailer. No, I'd rather see this than a working cut. Because this is gonna look finished. And
I thought you were saying I'd rather see that.
No,
than this. I was very confused.
Because
I was like, why?
As much as I criticize the man, and I don't think he should be a director or a writer, because he's not good at either. But he should be in charge of the CGI on like every fucking film. Like, he's a special effects guy. That's why the trailers are always misleading for all of his films. This trailer is beautiful, even if it is shots we've seen before. Those shots look better. The new shots look great. There was that flash shot in the original trailer. It didn't make the movie of Whedon's version, and that's back, and it looks better than ever. Like the dark side is. Yeah.
I think the only trailer he's done that not necessarily misleading, but I saw it and I knew that I would hate the movie was Batman v Superman. As soon as I saw Dark Side, I was like, no.
Oh, you mean not Dark Side? You mean Doomsday?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Doomsday.
In all fairness, that was the worst trailer known to mankind. That was a fucking terrible trailer. That trailer made me hate the movie, even though I didn't.
Even though you didn't. To Danny's point with the things that he was talking about, I really like Steppenwolf's armor because it moves, it retracts, and it's like, oh, that's cool. That's really
what
nice.
I really love
nice
is
touch.
also like Steppenwolf looks like the creature we saw in the extended cut of Batman v Superman, where it's like that little squeal that he did in Batman v Superman. I'm like, yes. I remember being so confused, like watching Steppenwolf and Justice League, be like, how did that look like the Thing? And then now, like, I'm looking at him like, okay, that's how the Thing.
It's like transdimensional interference. That's what happened. Like talking over mother boxes from that far, it warps your face. That's what happens.
And
that's my guess.
I do like this thing. There's a shot in it. Someone did a screenshot where his armor's missing from like his head down to his shoulders. Like someone ripped it the fuck off. And they're like, I wonder who did this to him. Like, not because it's bad special effects, but because he obviously got
in the trailer
someone.
where he
I wasn't thinking
down
bad special effects.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought something else was happening.
I'm really excited for this movie. And I'm going to make an event out of it. I'm going to be watching, Man of Steel, freaking Batman v Superman. I don't know whether or not I'm definitely going to watch the shitty Justice League, the other Justice League movie, because fuck it.
Really?
And then, yeah, why not? Why not? It's short. It's 2 hours long.
That's what I like.
Because
it's its best features. It's under 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's under 2 hours.
Time is the only resource that you cannot get back.
We're living in COVID times. I ain't got fuck all to do.
And Jammer agrees there's a lot of content out there, so you might as well consume stuff you've seen before.
Exactly. That way I can appreciate it more. I can appreciate the art to the everybody knows montage at the beginning of Justice League.
You know what scene?
There it goes. I knew you were going to sing.
I actually wish they would redo the opening scene without his silly mustache lip, because I actually think it's one of the best.
They'll probably just delete it.
I know it's not going to be there, but I wish they would include that. I thought that scene adds a lot, where it opens with the kid taking a video of him.
Does it though?
And him kind of having like a crisis of conscience a little bit, where it's like, I don't know. I think that's the best scene in the movie.
There's no crisis there. Because I don't think he answers the kid, does he?
As an alien.
Well, I think
it's like, why do you do what you do? He doesn't answer.
The implication.
No, but he like kind of gives a smile. Yeah,
he smiles. He's like, I love humanity. Like it's.
I thought it was a great moment. Fine. Just that's the first scene, and you see his baby lip, and you're like horrified, too horrified.
So what exactly about it is great?
What?
Oh, he thinks the content. He said the
content's great.
Mustache thing is
content is just a word that's used by people. We're just all about the wrong things.
We live in a society, damn it.
Okay, so talking about that society, I feel like I was the only one who didn't lose my shit over that. I'm like, that's a meme.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
And
I got it, but I didn't get it.
I was like, what's the context of this meme?
The Seinfeld thing.
Yeah, it's
I think it became a Joker thing, didn't it?
It became a Joker thing somehow. It's like he didn't say it, but like it brought into it, and I was like, we live in society. Okay, I don't care.
It's because it's hilarious on Seinfeld. It's not like a.
I think it just goes to show that everyone here is like 30 some odd years old plus. I think we're just showing our age here.
But then again, the little kids are throwing it around. They haven't even seen Seinfeld. It's just one of the best jokes on that show.
It's like those people who say. It's like those people who say "bye, Felicia" and don't realize where it comes from. Like somehow that popped up like 5 years ago, and people have no idea what it's from. I'm like, all right, why are you saying it now? Like, where'd that come from?
Everyone is. Surprised Borat didn't bring back more my wives than it did having a Borat sequel.
I am surprised too. I think it had a little resurgence there from Bob's Burgers though, like a minor online resurgence for a bit.
Borat?
Yeah, because of my wife line. Because of Bob's Burgers, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
things I don't know.
Anyway,
Film museum.
This wasn't the only trailer we had this week, was it, Jonesy?
It was not. So we had two others. So one was a surprise. The other one was, well, not necessarily a surprise. I didn't think we'd get it in time for the show. But let's talk about Cruella first, because I do think it's kind of funny to me because it very much reminds me in the vein of what we're talking about. Reminds me of Joker, right? So this seems like the Scorsese version of
Scorsese.
What would happen.
Does it though?
Joker.
I feel like the Kathy Yen version. Like she's more Harley Quinn than.
I disagree.
I don't know, it is very Joker.
I think the trailer is very much like it felt like a Joker, like for the Joker trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a little bit mad.
I'm a little bit mad. So in a very, Disney style Maleficent-esque. So we're going to get to see how Cruella de Vil became Cruella. I think I was only vaguely aware that this movie existed or was coming
They've been talking
out.
about it for like 3 years. I feel
had
like they shot
screenshots for it for like 2 years.
Yeah, I think they shot this movie like 2 years ago, and I have
There's
no
been
idea.
a screenshot with her
Yeah.
with her henchmen and 2 dogs on leashes and this look. It was like a still that came out in some EW magazine, like summer, like preview or something years ago.
It's like coming out 2019, Cruella, and then nothing. Crickets.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not gonna lie, I am not a 101 Dalmatians person.
I am.
I saw it when I was a kid. I think as a child I liked it, but it was not one of the ones that stuck. It wasn't particularly sticky to me.
It was for me. It stuck for me. And I think that whole era of films kind of stick for me. And ironically enough, I watched another movie from that era, The Aristocats. And I think what I really like about that era in the movies is that their animation style was very
He wants to eat
rough
the
and
animated
raw.
food.
What?
You said that in one of our earlier podcasts about the movies. We were like, when we did our Disney ranks, you're always like, and in this movie, I like the way that the cat treat looked. And I really wanted to like eat it because it was animated so well. You remember saying that?
I don't remember saying that.
I don't think he
but
does. Yeah.
I'm sure I did.
Let's go to the tape.
I believe I did say it. I believe you. I just don't remember what it was in reference to.
I mean, when you say things like that, like that just means you have to go back and find it.
No, it wasn't Aristocats. It was the Rescuers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was the Catnap Snaps.
It's like, those look good to me when I was a kid.
Along those same lines, I was watching the Aristocats last night, and the mouse, when he brings in the cracker to dip into the milk, I wanted to eat that cracker. So there you go.
Maybe you're just not eating enough. That's what I'm gleaning from this conversation.
That's not true. That is not true.
Fasting? Are you fasting? Is that what's going on? Lent's coming up? Is that thing?
No.
You Catholic dude? Is that what's going on?
I'm a bad Catholic. But anyway, what were we talking about? I was talking about Aristocats. Okay, so the animation style was very scratchy, where you can definitely see like all the sketch marks and stuff. And speaking of eating, there's this scene from 101 Dalmatians where Cruella is driving up the snow and it's going, and like all the snow was kind of churning. It reminded me of Cookies and Cream, and I wanted to eat cookies and cream.
This has to be like
so remember 30 seconds ago when I asked you whether or not you're eating enough food? Like, I feel like
you saw me eat a banana. Yeah, this was like 5-year-old Jammer back in the day.
Please, I want some more.
But anyway, my point is I like that animation, that era in animation. Those movies really stuck with me. And I almost feel like they were the first ones where I kind of got into the idea of making animation or making films because of the raw nature and the scratchiness of them. So long story short, Cruella is something I'm super excited for because I love 101 Dalmatians.
Okay. All right. So set in 1970s London, starring Emma Stone, and it's going to be a prequel to 101 Dalmatians. Danny, are you excited for this film?
Based on that trailer, no. But the actual film itself, I can't help but feel that the second trailer is going to be better. At least that's what I'm hoping, because it didn't really make me really, really excited to see the film. But Emma Stone looked great and sounded great, and it piqued my interest. Is probably the best I could say. But it's certainly not got me like, when is this coming out? Excited. But like Jammer, I was a fan of certainly that animation style, and I was a fan of the first live action 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close. Second one, I wasn't too much of a fan.
And Jeff Daniels.
The first one I really enjoyed. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm intrigued, but I'm not overly excited. Unfortunately, it's not got me.
Okay.
Hoping for.
I think it looks fun. I think it looks like an interesting take. I like the style that they're going for. I like the Joker feel to it. I'm not sure if it's just the trailer or if it's going to be the movie as well, but I kind of like the attitude that they gave her. And I'm interested to see if they're going to try to make her redeemable or if they're just going to make her someone that you love to hate.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I am really curious, given what they did with Maleficent, would they try and pull back some of what was that face? What's that face, Jammer?
Sorry, I can't think of Maleficent without thinking of the meme where it has a picture of 50 Cent and it says Malef 50 Cent and it has him with like the horns.
Jonesy doesn't like. Oh, maybe he does. No, Jonesy likes to see me laugh about it. He's shaking his head about the meme.
Yeah. So Nick, do you want to see Cruella? And do you think that, like in the vein of Maleficent, they will try and pull it back and redeem her a little bit?
I hope they don't, because that would defeat the entire purpose. If it's a prequel film, it's like, oh, she's not that bad. It's like, oh,
here's the thing. I don't care. Like, go ahead and make her good, make her bad. I don't give a fuck. Change
and that's
it.
my real
just make it good
on the trailer.
Yeah, just make it good.
That was my real thought on the trailer is I don't care. Like, it didn't offend me in any way, and it also didn't excite me in any way. It was just a trailer. It's like based on the image I saw 2 years ago. This is exactly the film I expected, and that's that. Like, I didn't dislike anything about it. I didn't like anything about it. I was like, okay, that was a trailer for a movie. Like, usually I'm either pissed off or excited about movies. So this was just like,
yeah, it's kind of how I felt about the Mortal Kombat trailer.
Yeah. Yes. Segue-alicious.
Yeah, I could not help but wonder. I was like, what would Tanya think about this, given that it's her thing?
Oh yeah, I was gonna text it to her.
I sent it as soon as you sent it to me. I sent it to her, and I was like, "So, see you in April?" And she was like, "Yes, I'll be there."
She's gonna love it. Hell yeah, she's gonna watch the fuck out of that.
She's gonna watch it. She's gonna watch it. I don't know that she loved the trailer. Based on what she said, there was a brief back and forth, and I got the impression that basically what I just said, like, it was a trailer. She called it messy. So I'm hoping that the movie is better, at least for me, than the trailer makes it out to be. As someone who hasn't really played a Mortal Kombat game since they were numbered, I'm not particularly feeling what I'm seeing.
I think to me, they tried to squeeze too much stuff, too much content, here we go again, too much visual, too much character, all in one trailer. I think they probably less could have been more as far as this is concerned. They could have kept it a little bit more exciting by not revealing everything. And it seemed to me they tried to put in everything.
Yeah, they're like, finish him. Here are all the finishing moves. Like, oh, okay, thanks.
Save something
I'm
for the next
Sub-Zero.
film, right?
Yeah, I got the impression that they're almost afraid they won't get a chance to make another one. So like, here's all the shit. You like Sub-Zero, you like Scorpion, you like Jax's arms. Here's Jax's arms. Here's Kano shooting his eye. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
did you expect anything less?
It's not more? Yes. I expected less. Like, just like Danny said, like, you didn't need to show me all of that shit. Like, if I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat, like, there are things I'm gonna be looking for. Like, if you just say finish him, I'm good, right? You don't have to show me every finishing move. I also hated Kano.
See the Australian dude? Like, it's the final line in the trailer.
Yeah. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. Yeah. I don't know. As somebody that was a fan of these growing up, the games growing up, and someone that was actually a fan of the first movie, this just felt, I agree with the word messy. And just like Danny said, there was just way too much in this trailer. And what's bad about that was all of what they showed, or a lot of what they showed, didn't strike me as being, if there was a lot and it was good and it got me excited, I'd certainly be happy. But I feel like the fact that I'm saying that they showed too much means that what they showed me wasn't good. So
interesting. Yeah, for me, I saw it. I'm like, I loved the games growing up. I loved the original movie. I even loved Annihilation because I didn't know what good movies were back then.
Did you really?
I mean, kind of.
You didn't know what good movies were back then.
I was at the age where anything that was a sequel was good because it was more of the thing that I loved, even if it wasn't as good. So I have since grown up, and I'm like, I haven't revisited it. It's like, sure, it's nostalgic, but I'm not like, it's not particularly doesn't resonate with me super well. So like, I watch this as someone coming from that perspective where I'm just like, this isn't great, but what was I expecting? I wasn't expecting it to be great. And it just kind of, it does the things I'm like, I expected, and not necessarily a bad way. It looked fine. It looked like it could be entertaining. Like I'm not expecting anything from it.
I'll tell you this. Here's what I was expecting. Here's what I was expecting. I was expecting that you take the original Mortal Kombat, Annihilation, all of the subsequent games that have come out. So I feel like within that time, there have been games that have been lauded, not just for their gameplay, but for the story as well, right?
To be fair, I have not played like any of the games since 2003.
I haven't either, but in recent times, they've done a good job with the story. And even with like their Justice League crossover stuff and all this other nonsense, they've done decent stories. So it's weird to me to have all of that content and not be able to turn it around into something that's interesting. I don't know. The other thing that I thought was kind of weird, it's funny to me that with the first one, Sonya Blade was kind of our entryway into this world. And she seems like she is, again, like this is how we start with the normal and then we get super weird from here.
Was Johnny Cage in there in the trailer? I don't think I saw him.
I don't know.
You didn't see Johnny Cage.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. There was a missing shadow kick. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Danny, did you play these at all?
Hold on. You remember that time when Johnny Cage was cool in the first movie, and then like he gained 20 pounds and had his neck snapped in the second one at the very beginning? I remember
that wasn't the same guy.
I know it wasn't. That was
okay.
The joke. That was the joke. Where it's like he looked like in between takes he had like eaten too many cookies, so they decided we're gonna snap your neck instead.
I did like getting guys' neck snapped.
Not to
stand back, guys. I got this. Stand back. I got this.
But he didn't look anything like his character did in the previous one. They didn't even try. Did not even try. It's like getting freaking I don't know. It's like getting Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man 1 and then getting Jammer for Iron Man 2 and snapping my neck. It's basically what the equivalent was.
I mean, it's just, you wear the glasses pretty well. Like I can't. Yeah. You know. I did enjoy the neck snap. Danny, did you play these at all growing up?
Dude, I'm gonna show my age now and say the last time I played a Mortal Kombat game was the Mortal Kombat game in the arcade.
Okay.
So not at home, but played it on the arcade, and that was it. That was.
I used to do that too. Play
ago?
Mortal Kombat. Used to play Primal Rage. Used to play Cruising USA, Area 51.
Yep.
Yeah. Have your quarters sitting up there next to the monitor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was it. But that's the only time I've ever played it. So yeah, that's showing my age a little bit there.
Okay. What'd you think of the trailer?
It did nothing for me. I mean, nothing. I'm more excited here. I'm more excited about Cruella than I am about the Mortal Kombat film.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. So luckily Tanya's not here to.
I actually am too.
But I'm. No, it's not me.
Did you put the glasses on?
Yeah. Who's talking now, Jammer? Is that you or is that Tony?
Tony.
Not for much
dear
longer.
listener, what you can't see right now is the Jammer's now put his alter ego on. We didn't even recognize it was Jammer once he puts his glasses on. It's like Clark Kent going to the newspaper. You look nothing like Superman.
He's got the smolder. Nick, what'd you think of the trailer?
I have no background with Mortal Kombat, except for what I've been told. And I've been told in the past there is a plot. And now I kind of see that there is a plot in this trailer. I'm using the term lightly. I don't want to just sound like I'm mad on everything this week, but I, again, didn't hate it, didn't love it. I would definitely, though, rather see it than Cruella, just to see what kind of a... Because I will be honest, it looks like a Zack Snyder movie visually. The visuals look pretty cool and over the top.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The hell are you?
It does, and it does. And
you know what I love? You guys are like James Carville and Tucker Carlson on my screen. Like one of you will say a thing, the other one's like, "Fuck you." You're like totally wrong.
That's why whenever my dad listens, he's always like, "Jammer's a jerk." And I'm like, "No, that's how we play it. I'm a jerk to him too."
So really, what just happened was he wanted to tell you that you're a jerk. That's what happened.
I've told him what my dad said before. He's like, he's the enemy. Like he's the villain on the show, right? And I'm like,
I'm the enemy of the people.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd rather also see it than Cruella because I'm mystified at how all this shit even fits together, how there's a plot. And I don't know, once in a while, an overabundance of blood is not a terrible thing. I don't watch that kind of shit all the time, but I do want to see his arms get frozen off again.
You saw it. I was going to say you saw it.
Oh, I'd rather see it in context so I know what's going on. And
the context is he was fighting him and he got his arms frozen and ripped off. That's the context.
How did he get the robot arms though? Like that's I don't know.
Here's what it is. They took him away and they go like, oh, we're gonna have to give him new arms. And they gave him new arms.
That technology.
Yeah, luckily we have that technology.
I watched it right before the show. It's cool. I mean it's
it does not look like a Zack Snyder thing. It looks closer to like the character like Power Rangers than it does the Zack Snyder movie in terms of like
don't even
like really insulting it.
Don't denigrate Power Rangers by
no.
Yeah,
it looks like Zack Snyder's Power Rangers.
No, it does not.
Wait, are you talking about the new Power Rangers movie, the newest one?
Yes.
Okay, fine. That was dog shit. Yes, I agree.
I wasn't talking about the quality of the movie. I was talking about the visuals.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah. I won't watch it unless it's for the podcast, just like Cruella. So.
Well, I tell you what, we're doing
probably
it for the
gonna
podcast.
watch it.
I know.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, so I will be, which is maybe why I'm more interested in it than Cruella. I will fight to not see that movie.
Okay. So with that, you guys ready to do a vision check? A Wanda vision check?
I like how clever you guys are with that.
We're so fucking clever.
I like Chandler's outrage last week where he's like,
oh yeah, I was just like,
what? Jonesy's like, how do we do it? And then you're like, are you fucking stupid? It's like, we do it every week. And Jonesy's like, no, there is a new episode this week.
I was like, oh yeah, whoops, I forgot that.
All right. That's it. So here we are on Breaking Geek Rated podcast, which I didn't introduce. I realized I didn't introduce this, but here we are, Breaking Geek Rated podcast, asking the tough questions like, where the fuck is Dottie? We haven't seen her since she was bleeding. But this week on WandaVision, this past week on WandaVision, we got the Halloween episode, right? So this is the special, the WandaVision Spooktacular, and we got to see Evan Peters fully, and they jumped times a little bit. So this is the 2000s now. It's Malcolm-ish in the middle, even Stevens-ish kind of realm, and it's more from the kid's perspective. What did you guys think of this episode? And Danny, I'll start with you.
just so I can be mad about it. This was a lot more fun. I felt this was the palate cleanser a little bit. This felt like it was a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun. It had a lot more humor in it, thanks to Quicksilver and his interaction with the twins, etc. I enjoyed this episode because it was a little bit more light-hearted. It was a little more fun, and some more teasers and stuff, and a lot of stuff again that I didn't have a fucking clue about until I listened to you guys the day after. Mephisto was everywhere. He was here, he was there, he was in the wallpaper, and he was in the screen. So
it could be.
Still,
we don't know.
I love that meme.
Where is Mephisto? Good grief! But I enjoyed this episode a lot more. It was a lot more fun, a lot more lighthearted, and I thought Quicksilver was a great addition to it. So yes, definitely every episode is getting me more and more into this show. Probably by the time I love it as much as everybody else, it'll be over.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the hard things about this show is that the brevity of the episodes is definitely a strength. Not only the week to week, but they give you just enough where you're very into it, and then it ends. So I'm enjoying that. Nick Dahl, we haven't seen you since we started doing the vision check. What did you think of the last episode?
Obviously, I loved it. I feel like each episode's gotten better, especially once they stepped into the real world, like showing us both. Because back then, the episodes actually did feel 30 minutes. Now that we're kind of getting a little bit of both, or even the fourth episode feels like 5 minutes because it's like, here's so much about, like, not in a good way. It's like, whoa, that was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So each episode gets better as because I actually enjoy the way it's both destroying old theories and making like new theories. It really feels like the way TV used to be. I guess I don't know, like Lost, where people would actually be talking about between episodes, and I don't see a lot of shows like that anymore because
the water
obviously
cooler aspect is being brought back by non-Netflix streaming services.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of shows have lost their mystery, even if they're fun to watch week to week. And this is like one of those water cooler shows where it's like, well, what the fuck this is one of the only shows we've done week to week at all talking about it. So I don't know. I'm really excited. I don't know if you guys saw it. I shared the clip from today's episode, which is like the first 2 minutes, and it's definitely Modern Family, and it doesn't even address the repercussions of what she did last time yet within her world, within her mind.
But it did smash cut to it, which I think is funny.
Yeah, it does. But then at the same time, she's like, oh, I just need an in-bed day for myself because I did a terrible thing last night. And it's like, yeah, I want to see what happened to Darcy and all that people who got fucking sucked in.
Well, they're inside the world now. We get to see
but I want to see who Darcy got
but what are
as.
they? Yeah,
what are they?
The rest of them are like circus clowns and stuff. But Darcy...
Nah, that's just the sword agents. They're the clowns.
Yeah. But actually... I forgot to bring up the theory even on my show, Marvel vs. Multiverse Mondays, that her poster, when they released the Darcy poster, the top TV has her wearing something that looks very much inside of a TV show outfit. So,
like Two Broke Girls or something else?
actually looks more old school than even the Modern Family time period. It looks like something that would have been out of one of the 70s, 80s or 90s commercials. But
I'm trying to figure out what poster you're talking about. What poster are you
it's
talking
the one,
about?
you know how each character got a poster? Darcy is the top TV, has her wearing a completely different outfit than anything we've seen her in the real world.
Gotcha.
Okay.
They have like little symbols on like the chest part and the button up. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I continue to enjoy it. It's great.
You're making me want to look this up now. I'm going to look for that.
Yeah.
While Jammer tells me what he thinks of. No, I'm going to look it up. While you.
I already did. It's right there.
Tell me what you think. Well, can you put it in the Slack so I don't have to also look for it?
No, you can look for it.
Jesus Christ.
So I thought it was a relatively solid episode. I watched it a couple of times, and I liked. Not a lot happens. It's one of those things where it's like I'm trying to think back to what happens. It's like not a lot because I spend so much time kind of hopping back and forth between the TV world and the real world, and I don't know. It looks things are moving along. Where I'm still curious about where it's going. I liked seeing Vision die again for the third time.
Oh God.
That's like traumatic. I don't know. I think I'm not as thrilled with this show as a lot of people. I think it's good, but I do feel like there are more sort of TV-ish annoying little cracks in the armor that I saw this episode in terms of writing, and like where you have what's his name, Jimmy Woo's character and the Monica Rambeau character. They just like knock out these military guys like it's no big deal, and then, like
super weird.
And they knock him out
like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, they knock him out, and then like you see in the background, there's like some guys walking around back and forth. I'm like, did they not see that? It just felt very TV, where it was just like, all right, we just need to hurry up and get it. That's good enough. Let's keep going. Let's move on. Yeah, just moments like that where it felt like things are moving too slowly, and I'm like, it just seemed it lacks the brevity and sort of the cinematic efficiency of the films in a way that I think just it makes it less strong. Like going back to it, I feel like there's not as many cinematic visual and layers in the story and the writing compared to the cinematic counterparts. Everything just feels more surface level and flat, even visually. So like it was fine. It was entertaining. I'm still going to watch it, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel, it feels less and less like cinematic quality to me. And it kind of feels more like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. adjacent, or, you know, like DC TV adjacent, than Marvel Cinematic Universe adjacent, despite, you know, the way the things interweave with each other story-wise. So yes, it's good, but like I wish it was better.
Okay.
So it was good, but it could be better.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna leave that there. Things are good, but they could be better.
That's the soundbite.
Oh God.
You guys let it wash over you.
It took him a minute.
I forgot all about that movie.
What?
Forgot all about it.
And that's the review.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah. That's the review. I forgot all about that movie.
I really did. But yeah, I just as far as WandaVision goes, one funny thing I thought was funny. One funny thing I thought was funny. One thing I thought was funny.
Just move past the sentence.
I don't remember what I was going to say. I was trying to stall because I didn't remember what I was going to say.
Oh.
So we're just going to move on.
I do have a question for everyone about.
Can I say what I thought first? Can I say what I thought?
Oh yeah. You go first. Is that okay? Yeah. Who talks first? You talk first.
I'm enjoying it. I thought that this was fun. I agree with Danny. Like it's just a fun episode because it was exactly what it was supposed to be. It's like, here's a brother from out of town. He said it right when he talks about, I'm the brother. I'm supposed to come in from out of town. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Like you brought me here to do X, Y, Z, and blah blah blah. And it was very fun because he said exactly what he was supposed to do, and that's what it was. It made me laugh, and I enjoyed that. I do think that Jammer is right, though. But as someone who enjoyed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it doesn't bother me that this is basically Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with a better budget. So that's how I feel about the show. And because of that, I enjoy it. Nick Dahl, you got questions.
I just got one question. Does anyone actually think Evan Peters' character is the Fox version of Quicksilver at this point?
I don't.
So one of the people I follow, who's like a big critic who's a critic who loves stuff like this, on Twitter, it was like, I'm gonna go into a rage fit if he's not actually part of the plot. And I'm like, no, it's a wink to Marvel fans.
Here's the thing. I kind of ironically wish he is actually X-Men Quicksilver because I don't like
ramifications.
That. Well, not just that, but I don't like the idea that in order to appreciate the casting, you had to have watched movies from another universe. I don't like the intercontextuality of it.
It's just a joke.
Well, yeah, it's just a joke.
Yeah,
I don't
like that.
You'd miss if you don't remember
I don't
every
like
Marvel
that.
movie.
Right. I don't like that.
No,
I think you should be able to watch all the Marvel movies and appreciate them for being inside universe, not have to watch something from another universe and be in on the meta joke in order to appreciate it. And I like it because, for example, like if you didn't know who he was in those movies, you're not going to get the same feeling as someone else who has no idea who he is. Like I feel like
it doesn't matter.
But
I think
that's a lot of stuff. That's what it means to be a fan. Like I feel like that's movie making generally. Like when you make comic book movies, that is a thing that happens from the beginning of time. It's a video game movie, it's a comic book movie. Like that's just what it is. So I don't necessarily agree with that.
When you bring up the MCU jammer.
And then the other thing I would say about that is like I do think that there's probably a broader purpose to it, not necessarily just because it's him. I think that the joke is essentially, or the idea is that she couldn't reanimate her actual brother. So they could not get that version of him within the context of what her powers are supposed to be. And so I think that this is a wink and nod to the people who have seen the Fox movies, but it is also an explanation for why she can't bring people back from the dead.
I guess I don't like it whenever
from outside the hex.
Whenever in stories it's like, "Hey, I know that thing." I don't like that.
But that's what
like,
I understood that reference was right there for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You did say, yeah, it was right there.
I don't like that.
Because like
I don't like that. I understood that reference part.
Most people who have seen all the Marvel movies miss half the jokes by the time you get to Endgame or Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. Like, I don't remember that moment. Like, sun's getting real low, big guy.
Well, that's different.
Like, unless you
that's within
remember
that's within the universe.
Line.
That's within the universe compared to outside of the universe.
But it's still like stuff no one knows. They still enjoy the episode.
No, what he's saying is
differently.
Yeah.
Because like my friend,
if you've seen all the MCU movies, you get all those jokes. If you haven't watched the Fox X-Men movies, then you won't get that as a joke.
That's true. And my roommate, I mean my friend, he's not my roommate, didn't get it at all because he hadn't seen Fox movies.
I thought you said the opposite. I thought you said my roommate, he's not my friend. No. I thought you said that at first.
And then my friend who's barely seen any MCU movies knew it because he's seen more of the Fox movies.
I feel like that's like saying, you watch The Incredible Hulk and you're like, oh, that's Lou Ferrigno. Like, I never watched a fucking Incredible Hulk episode in my entire life. I have no idea who that's.
But I feel like he's so important to the story here that I feel like it's more than just a throwaway thing at this point.
I think
point.
It's
like,
a misdirect for the audience.
Changes. It misdirects you. Like it's a misdirect if you watch all these movies. It's not a misdirect if you haven't. And I don't know if that's a good thing if you have two audience members having vastly different feelings because of a cast. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Did I lose you? Did
briefly.
Freeze?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
It'll work. You didn't freeze.
His highly detailed explanation, all the details dropped out.
You were gone for like 4 seconds. Don't worry.
Okay.
I do.
So what I said is I don't.
Green shot.
I don't fucking.
Green shot.
Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah. It was another minor delay.
Actually, see, Nick, you shouldn't say anything. You should just stare at the screen.
My point.
Oh, were you guys all frozen?
Is that all right? I'm just done. I'm done.
I agree with you and I disagree with you. But the thing that I do like about it is that there's this whole conversation. I do think it's funny. This is the little things, right? This is the little things conversation where we're watching something and we want the little things to mean something and they don't necessarily. I don't think it has nothing to do, I think now, with the broader context of who he is or any of that stuff, which on one level sucks, but it's also kind of funny. I guess I just don't take it seriously enough that I think it matters. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
That was Vision Check.
That was Vision Check. What else
presented by Yoda, apparently. That was Vision Check.
Vision Check that was.
Mine got fucked up there.
Just wait for you to COVID.
Yoda died.
You guys ready to review a movie? We actually do have a movie to review.
Yeah.
Nice pad.
Richard.
You haven't changed at all, Bruce.
You might be surprised.
What was that back there? A mask?
It's a way to keep my lives separate. I can't think of the last time we saw each other.
I bet you can remember the last time. The first time, too.
I'm eager to learn.
They all say that. Ben Turner, Richard Dragon, Shiva. Disciplined, honorable. She's very dedicated.
Yeah. Batman, Soul of the Dragon. So as promised last week, we said we were going to bring you Batman, Soul of the Dragon. So set in the midst of the swinging 1970s, the Elseworld adventure finds Bruce Wayne.
Hold on a second.
What?
I'm gonna lay the.
Are you really doing this? You're doing this right now?
All right, so
you
start talking. All right, you keep talking. Waka chicka, waka chicka, waka chicka, waka chicka, waka chicka.
Set in the midst of the swinging 1970s, this Elseworld adventure finds Bruce Wayne under the training of Master Sensei. It's there that Bruce, along with elite students, are forged in the fire of martial arts discipline. These lifelong bonds. These lifelong bonds will be put to the test when a deadly menace arises from their past. It will take the combined efforts of Batman, and the world-renowned martial artists Richard Dragon, Ben Turner, and Lady Shiva to battle the monsters of this world and beyond. So this film has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, a surprising 93% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 53% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Oddly enough, I could not find a Metacritic review. So, gentlemen, if you could give me your Twitter reviews, non-spoiler, of course, of this Batman movie that had surprisingly little Batman. Jammer, we'll start with you.
Why was Batman in this movie? That's my Twitter review. Why was Batman in this? That's the tweet. Why was Batman in this movie? Also, the movie was fun, style over substance, but entertaining.
Okay. Nick Dahl?
I liked it way better than I thought it would. And I need to start looking at some of the other Elseworld Batman stories that they've animated on Vudu.
Okay. Danny?
For my first animated Batman movie, I enjoyed the James Bond-esque escapades with great one-liners from the Sensei. But to follow on Jammer's lead, was Batman in the movie?
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
I had the exact opposite.
This was my first one.
Go ahead.
So Jammer. This was my first experience with these Batman animated films. So I know we're not going to touch on spoilers just yet. So I do have questions. You guys have just mentioned that it's an Elseworld movie too, because straight away it was like, well, this is set in the 70s. Are all the movies set in different time periods, etc.? Do they all change? Do they all change Batman's backstory, back history kind of thing, with him going off and training with these guys? Is this something that happens a lot with these movies, or is this just the one?
So my Twitter review is it's fun and ridiculous in a way. No. I was going to say mine is that it's fun and ridiculous in a way that I had hoped Batman Ninja would be, but was not. I hated that movie. I enjoyed this. Danny, to answer your question, I feel like with Batman in particular, they take tons of liberties because he's their top guy in terms of selling movies and selling these animated features. So like you will see Batman and Justice League Dark. And it's like, well, you could have just called this a Justice League Dark movie, but you got to stamp it with Batman just to get people to buy this thing.
Did just call it Justice League Dark, but put Batman on the cover.
Right. So it's like we got to sell this thing. And I think with him being an Elseworld story, so you've got Gotham by Gaslight, which is set in, what year is that?
1800s.
That's one of the ones I saw in Vudu.
Yeah, 1800s. So like Jack the Ripper era.
Yeah.
You've got this, which is set in the 70s. You got Justice League Brave and the Bold, which is set in the 60s. So some of those, they do jump around in terms of years, but there was also a main line storyline that was based on like the the DC year one / rebirth storyline, where you follow the same voice actors, the same version of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all of those characters, Cyborg, through like what seemed like years. It had to have been at least 5-6 years that we were following like the same story that led to essentially where Zack Snyder's going in his live action movies with the battle with Apocalypse. So there's, you've got this
which ended up being a
story with all these
Constantine
other
movie,
offshoots.
not even a Batman movie. By the time they got to that one, it was like Constantine's the main character in our wrap it up the entire universe movie.
But
he's the one who doesn't get killed by Apocalypse.
Well, and it's hard to argue with that, at least in that movie. But you've got the Flashpoint movie, which was the start, I think, of that universe. Then there were a couple of those. But yeah, I could try to find that list of movies if you're curious, and you could follow like that one storyline. And they've just restarted it. So a movie that came out that I'm actually kind of surprised that we didn't review, it was Superman Man of Tomorrow. Is supposed to be the next iteration of the DC animated universe.
And continuity. Whereas this is Elseworld.
Right. So this is an Elseworld story. It doesn't count, doesn't mean anything.
Long Halloween will be that too.
Will it be Elseworld or?
Because they never count they're trying to be true to the comic, so it doesn't fit into the storyline, just like the Dark Knight Returns, I assume.
Okay.
Dark Knight Returns is basically an Elseworld because it doesn't tie it.
Yep.
It's a different Batman, different time period. I think they're trying not to change so much so that they fit into the universe like a live action Marvel. They're trying to just give you Long Halloween or Dark Knight Returns in those regards.
I'm trying to think of, have they done that? And I can't think of one that they did where they basically shoehorned one into that continuity.
I don't think they have, unless it was the fucking Batgirl and the Killing Joke.
Oh, literally the fucking Batgirl.
What?
Yeah,
this is the best scene. She had a gay best friend, and
I like the fact that it was this Elseworld idea. It meant I wasn't disappointed or frustrated that I didn't know what was going on and such. I thought that was really good part of it. And what I also liked about it, and you guys can tell me whether or not they're all like this or not, but I did like the story unfolding very, very quickly, but seamlessly too. I'm trying to find the right words, but it did flow very quickly. It was efficient. There's the word I'm looking for. The storytelling aspect was very efficient. And I guess that's because in animation, you kind of need to be a little bit, but I kind of wish filmmakers on live action would be that efficient with their storytelling sometimes too, because I really enjoyed that. I had a really good time with it. Straight away, I was thinking 007. I was thinking James Bond, the very opening, then the ejector seat and stuff. Getting into spoilers and stuff now. Like, this is a lot of fun. This is cool. And then again, you guys can fill me in on this or not, but and then holy fuck, this is violent. Shit, I wasn't expecting.
Well, the rated R ones.
Is it violence? Wasn't that violence?
There's
I didn't
blood.
notice it.
Well,
limbs.
It
is rated R.
Over and over again, and his blood was fisted. And then I've made a couple of notes, and it's got brutal killings right here. And I've got girl with double-handed knife strike into ribs. And I'm like, yeah, wasn't expecting that. I think this is towards the end. It was brutal, some of this, and not compared to Mortal Kombat we were just talking about, but it wasn't what I was expecting from an animated Batman movie, right? I was like, holy shit, this is different. This is interesting. This is kind of cool. I enjoyed all that stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised by it. Is this something else that I can expect from the other movies, following a certain theme, like a 007 thing, and as violent, etc.?
They've been doing more and more R-rated ones.
Not necessarily 007.
That was just this. This is just the vibe I got from this one, right?
Because it was almost more of a. Is this the kind of is a Bruce Lee movie kind of have a 007 element to it?
Yeah, this is very much like
I've even got
the Chinese
Dragon
connection
vibe at the end of my notes. Enter the Dragon vibe too. I've written that at the end as well. So yeah, they did a really good job with those kind of connections. I'm guessing the writer and directors and stuff all had those influences. So yeah. So obviously, I'm talking about things now that you guys are probably maybe not surprised about, or it happens all the time. But for me, my first time watching it was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Maybe I should check out some of the others.
It is an interesting one to start on, it being non-continuity and just being like a whole different genre and set in the 70s.
Yeah.
And what you're describing in terms of the efficiency, like that is I think a bunch of them are like that, but the way that this story unfolded, it was imitating a 70s movie. So it was like there's an event that happens in present day. Now we're going to do a flashback to try and explain it. So it's very formulaic in that way, but in a very homage type way, not in a bad formulaic way. So from that perspective, I liked it. But that's not the way that all of them are. In terms of the violence, I think that is normal, especially for the rated R ones, especially for like the ones that heavily feature Constantine. There's shit that happens at least one of those movies where I'm just like, oh fuck, like it I will physically draw my head back from the screen, and especially in the ones that he's in. Or like I think there might be a moment like that in The Dark Knight Returns too. Like there's just stuff that happens in those movies where it's like,
they go full R with that.
Yeah, when you guys suggested that we watched it, I guess I'm pretty sure no one mentioned that this was an R-rated. It was, here, check out this Batman animated movie. And it's
sorry.
The Dragon. No, don't apologize. It was great. It all added to the whole, this is new and fresh, exciting for me. But yeah, it definitely wasn't mentioned. So this was a rated R one, obvious. But they're not all. Am I getting this?
No.
They're not all.
Yeah, no.
This way?
I'd say the rest are all PG-13, except for like 4, is it 5 or 6 at this point are rated R? Probably.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's only a handful.
It's like Killing Joke, Dark Knight Returns,
Apocalypse War,
which is just
that rated R?
Dark.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah,
you
it
watch
is.
that shit?
Apocalypse War, really?
They like rip everyone to shreds violently in like the first scene.
Yeah, like that is
like
very
limbs
violent.
and blood and like
intestines and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
this is really that one looks like a Mortal Kombat. At least in one scene.
It's very sadistic.
Because it's Constantine story.
Doomsday. Which one was this, Jammer?
Apocalypse War.
Apocalypse War.
It was the one that wrapped up and reset up the next timeline or whatever. It erased all the stuff we've been watching for 6 years.
You're just gonna tell him. You're just gonna tell him the thing.
Who cares? He's not gonna remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
on those. So Danny, I would start with Flashpoint and see what you think. And if you like Flashpoint, you would like this continuity because it's pretty good.
So I feel bad. I feel like I'm in the minority here. Like I thought it was fine, but it also reminded me of why I'm not a huge fan of the DC animated movies. There's nothing wrong with it. And you talked about the efficiency of storytelling. It was like too efficient to the point where it's like things felt rushed. I didn't connect with the characters. Did I just freeze?
No.
I didn't connect with the characters. It felt like more like plot is happening rather than characters are motivating the plot. I didn't really connect with anybody that much. And then, at the very end in the fight scene, I'm like, what the fuck, Batman? Get out of here. I don't want to see you. You throw off the entire vibe with your stupid outfit compared to everyone else. Like, it's just...
Spoilers?
It just was
like, spoilers yet?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Spoilers, everyone. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Oh, wow. There's 16 of these movies.
Yeah, well, anyway, like my point is like the efficiency of storytelling. I think I would have preferred it to be like an hour and 45 minutes and to get more like grounded character moments, like as to why I should cheer for them. Like, yeah, we got moments, but I feel like it wasn't enough for me to connect emotionally. It was just enough for me to understand what's going on and to be interested plot wise, but that's it.
Don't you think that what you're talking about is a function of it being an homage to a 70s movie?
Maybe. Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
From that perspective, it felt like exactly what it was supposed to be.
But I feel like that's a lot of these DC movies for me.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, did you care about the characters in Enter the Dragon? Like, did you care about Bruce Lee because it was Bruce Lee? Or did you actually like the plot of Enter the Dragon make you care about Enter the Dragon?
It's a good point. It is a good point. But like, as I mentioned before, I think that the way things move really, really fast, to me, it feels just like how these DC animated movies feel. But I would agree that you could argue for this particular one that is all about the movie, homages, and not necessarily about any shortcomings in legitimate storytelling.
Okay. So Death of Superman. I'm sorry. I'm going through this list now of the DC animated movie universe and trying to figure out which films are in and which aren't. I don't know if my
Batman vs. Robin should be in there.
Yeah, it is. Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin. Like,
they tried to sell me a 3-pack of those when I was just trying to rent Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah,
and Arkham,
Batman, Bad Blood is not good.
Arkham's one of the ones, isn't it? That's official continuity. Whereas, like, obviously, Red Sun is an Elseworld.
Arkham is not. It's not listed on here.
Interesting.
Of this movie, I enjoyed it. I thought that it was. From this perspective, I do agree. I do think that Richard Dragon got short shrift, even as far as the efficient storytelling goes. Like everyone else, I felt like I got more understanding of their background and why they were the way that they were, except for him. Like with Michael Jai White's character, like Black Belt Jones, like I got where he was coming from and like what he was doing with his life. And Richard Dragon just kind of was like, yeah, I work for the CIA. I'm a CIA dude, and I don't want to work with the CIA on this one CIA mission. I want to work with you, Batman, Bruce Wayne. Like, oh, okay, I guess. And you never really saw any of his other background or understanding. And maybe that's enough. But I wished I had seen more of him. But everyone else I did enjoy. And I even enjoyed him as a character. And one of the other things that I liked was I liked the ending. So Danny, you already talked about the car chase.
Hold on a second. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, it's like the ending of Mortal Kombat. I don't think so. Dun, 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 and then the end.
So I definitely got Avengers Endgame plus Mortal Kombat vibes from it, or even the one, right? I don't know if you guys remember that movie with Jet Li.
Jason Statham, who doesn't?
Jason Statham.
Chasing him down.
So one, you've got this argument where like, I'm gonna go, no, I'm gonna die. I got things to atone for. And so like Black Widow and Hawkeye are fighting on who's gonna sacrifice himself. And now they're on the other side of this gate. And then like Jammer said, dun, dun, Mortal Kombat. So like, the monsters are coming at them. And then like it was just all of that. And it was fun. And I like that it ended on this very, not necessarily ambiguous note, but you're just like, I wonder who's going to make it out and who's not going to. And because it's an Elseworlds story, maybe Batman dies. And
that's not what I get at all. Like the story I get is they're definitely going to win, but we don't need to see it because we know they're going to win. Upbeat ending. That's the way I saw it.
How they get out, Jammer.
They got like jump in the air and freeze frame.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And I like that. So from that perspective, I would recommend it for folks that are fans of Batman.
So you saw it as a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid ending where they freeze frame and you assume they die.
Not necessarily. I just thought it was like they could have. They very well could have. So who knows? I'm actually really curious, Danny, because like you said, this is your first foray into these. What did you think of? So I think you're probably the most physically fit out of all of us.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you run in a while, Jammer. I know you're a runner. Have you been running?
It's been freaking negative 10 degrees out. No.
So the answer is no. Okay.
I said no.
All right. Just want to make sure.
I did a workout today, though.
What did you do?
I did a workout.
He made another short avant-garde film to work out his brain muscles.
What did you think of the fights, Danny?
I honestly, Jonesy, I don't recall or recollect any of them. They were just things that happened.
The knife in
they
the
just
hand.
happened. Yeah, I remember the violence of them. I think that was probably what I was more shocked. I was like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. And honestly, you asked that, and I don't remember anything about the fights except how violent they were. And, shockingly, stroke surprisingly violent how they were. There's a lot of it that was down to I'm not used to this animation style, and it didn't take me out of it at all. I didn't mind it at all. It wasn't a negative for me.
I was going to ask that before I went.
Yeah. So I was okay with that. The whole thing, from the action sequences, even the car chase, motorcycle chase, etc. All that animation was fine for me. I can't answer that. I'm afraid, Jones. I was shocked about the violence of the fights. Couldn't tell you much about the fights themselves.
Okay.
But
yeah. And I can 100% see and agree with that, because as I think about the fights now, some of the things I remember, like the knife hand to the throat at one point, there was blood. From that, or when Bruce Wayne got his ass beat at the dojo and just kept getting up. It's like, okay, just gonna keep beating you down. So
I was just waiting for him to say I could do this all day.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that too. And then he did. For a fact that they purposely had to avoid that line. That's like the writer had to go like, oh, I really want to do that. They're like, no, it's Marvel. Yeah, but no, it's Marvel.
Only
okay, I'm not gonna
Deadpool can
it.
do that now because it has to be
Yeah,
meta
right.
and wink, wink.
I feel like at this point you wouldn't even do it. Like it's so worn out.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Do you think they did it
Um,
when they were when the voice actors were, obviously they're doing their job? Do you think they did a take where he said that and everyone just, all the people behind the screen were laughing and saying, "Yeah, we can't do that." But there's a recording of that. There's a scene where he says that.
I can do
That
this
is
all
hidden
day.
It
in
has
the
to be.
vaults of DC somewhere. Where the
I feel like
voice
that's got
actors
to be
fucking
true.
about.
So I
would watch
actually
that.
Fits so well.
talking about the fight scenes. I think they were choreographed fairly well. Like I think given the limitations, the animation, the budget, I thought the way they were done, I thought was pretty good. But at the same time, I couldn't fight the feeling that I'm like, all right, I know, let's get to the end of this fight scene. Because there's nothing like, there wasn't really a feeling of spectacle. There was nothing super unique about it. Like if you were watching
Snake
Pixar doing
arms and
action
fingers.
scenes, I guess like in concept it's cool, but there was nothing super memorable. There wasn't anything that, it's like, oh, you're only going to see this super stylized thing here. Like there was nothing that really so I just found myself kind of waiting to the end of it so the plot can keep going. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think it was well done enough, but I don't think there was the animation was very much in keeping with what we've gotten used to with DC animation.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like nothing super creative or special. I think if I'd want to see them do
but I
something
like
a
that
little
it's
bit more
consistent.
avant-garde.
Like
Sure,
except
I
for when
guess.
it's like like I saw the bat ears in this and I'm like, hell yeah. Like because Long Halloween better keep those Tim Sale bat ears, which are like bigger than his head. In the same
Right.
way they gave him the short bat ears in The Dark Knight Returns. They kept very much to that art style.
Yeah.
I like this way more than I thought it would. I was like, I like Batman, but this one seems weird. Before I even watched it, I didn't watch the trailer for it, and then every time I start one of these movies from the DC animated, I have the opposite reaction. I think Jammer had earlier, where I'm like, this is like DC's MCU. Like this is where their quality is. Like this is what I wish their live action movies were like. Like they're well written, they're fun, like.
They're okay.
Some of them are dark.
They're okay. They're okay.
I would take the two Justice League Dark movies over any live action film since Rises, as far as DC. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I have a question. So is Richard Dragon? That's his name, right? Richard.
Yeah.
Whatever. Is he supposed to be? Is he just an homage to
Bruce Lee,
or are they pretending that this is a movie where an actor is playing Bruce Lee who's playing Richard Dragon because he has the exact
So I think that two of the characters for sure are homages to characters from that time. So Ben Turner, I think, is an homage to Black Belt Jones, and I think that Richard Dragon is an homage to Bruce Lee.
And
Lady
Shiva's
Shiva
actually a
is just
Batman
a
character.
Right, she's just a character from Batman. So I feel like you can't tell the story without having someone like her.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's surprising to me how much like this one they did we're all tired of hearing about his parents and stuff. This one I thought actually worked really well with all that and dealt better with his trauma than most of the films, even the live action films do.
Did they? They really didn't deal with it at all.
They didn't talk about that much, but you could tell it was driving him in a way that we haven't seen Batman done in a while.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. I didn't get any sense of drive
anti-Nick.
from. Well, I didn't get any drive from Batman at all in this movie. I just kept forgetting he was Bruce Wayne. Period. Until he fucking showed up in a weird ass Batman outfit.
I don't.
No, the punching the stone thing is so
Yeah.
Batman, like in a more graphic way than we've seen in a while, because he's like bleeding all over it, and he has to learn the lesson from Sensei that and that's why it makes you think of Gotham and stuff, where it's like, yeah, you can break the shit out of that, then you got a bunch of pebbles that will also be a nuisance, and you have to break the pebbles. And
did
really,
they call
it's
him
like
Sensei?
they all called him Sensei.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what his character's name was Sensei.
I don't like they called him Sensei. That's a Japanese word used for a Chinese-inspired freaking movie. It's
I
weird.
mean, it's even played by the guy who plays Mr. Miyagi, isn't it?
No, Mr. Miyagi's dead.
Mr.
What are you
Miyagi's
on?
dead.
Who's the old guy? He's another old Chinese guy that I've seen in movies.
James Hong.
Yeah. What's he in then? That I know him.
James Hong's in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China is one I recognize.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Kung Fu Panda, Blade Runner. He's like one of those guys. Who's like, as soon as you see his face, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. I know him. But probably the first one that I know him from is, like Danny said, Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay. Cool. So in the end, I liked it a lot. The Batman stuff. I love how just the only reason he had it was Dragon's like, put that costume back on. You fight better while wearing it, which seems silly to have a Batman costume. And
I kind of agree with Jammer. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was at the end, I just was concerned for Gotham when they all stepped through the doorway. I'm like, no, Batman, you have to stay and fight for Gotham. Maybe these other people don't have anything going on, but like, you're Batman. And Batman.
Well, it sounded like he was just starting. Yeah, it sounded like he was just starting out.
Okay.
Like it seemed like they did not really understand who Batman was. I don't know. I kind of agree with Jammer on the not getting his motivation thing. It's not that I didn't get it, but it all felt like it was exposition. So when he's fighting Ben Turner, they're having a conversation about it, or when Sensei is talking to him, like he's having a conversation about it. It's never like an internal thing from him, and it's not like I need a flashback from it, but everyone says like, oh, I know why you're doing this, rich man's son, or I know why you're doing this because of what happened to your parents. And so from that perspective, like I get why it's like meh, but but we don't need that. Also, I feel like I could have done
why I liked how they dealt with it.
Yeah, I felt that it was just implied. I felt it was, I'm watching a Batman film and everyone's seen Batman. They know Batman stories. So we'll just touch a little bit on that he's had a troubled past, but we don't need to go into too much detail. That was my take on it without needing to go into too much detail. But again, because I'm new to this world, I'm not sure if that's what it's like in every one of these films or whether it's this one in particular. And so I just implied, I know his backstory. No one needs to tell it to me. Move on with whatever plot this episode is about, but you guys can tell me whether or not that's something's the case.
Just depends.
It depends on which one it is.
Yeah, it's like the DC movies. They overdo it sometimes, and they skip it sometimes.
When they attacked his nightclub, the guys came into the nightclub. There was a line that he said to him, "But they all seem to be really scared of you." Dressed as the Bat, or they were all scared of Batman. So that I got the impression, like you, Jones, that he was just starting out because he said, "I haven't got to her yet. He hasn't taken down that criminal boss." But at the same time, there was that line about they all seem really scared of you, which implies Batman's been around for a while and has put the fear into Gotham's.
And he's got like the 70s version of like the Batmobile without even looking too conspicuous.
Car, the 70s muscle car, yeah.
No Batcave.
A penthouse.
So I got the impression, just a penthouse apartment,
a wall with cameras.
I got the impression. So if I could say it, this would be the way that I would articulate it. He had been doing it long enough that petty criminals knew who he was, but he hadn't gotten up to taking down crime bosses yet, which would then also imply to me he didn't have like a Penguin or Joker or any of the top level villains.
I definitely thought Snake Arms guy was going to be the Riddler at first. He looks like the Riddler to me.
Should have been more suspicious of the glasses. Should have been more suspicious of the glasses.
I don't even remember.
He reminded me. The name reminded me of the guy that was in the third Matrix film. You know, the one.
Smith. Oh, not Smith.
There's a third Matrix film.
Merovingian. The Merovingian.
That's it. What Jonesy said. I can't even say it.
For some reason, he came across to me with his blonde hair as like some like former Nazi or like I don't know, like or like Austrian or something. When he's like, I got the glasses and I will help you. I got some bad glasses.
I love that you're like, Austrians and Nazis. They're all like, you know,
German, Austrian, you know. Hey, the Austrian chick is a Nazi in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
This is how we say goodbye in Austria.
Exactly. This is how we say goodbye in Germany.
We better not be leading to me being put in another fucking oven.
And then early on, I noticed while editing it, while re-listening to it, he says microwave oven earlier. And then when you said it originally in the show, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a microwave oven. But, you know, to not make light of that thing, I probably shouldn't have said
microwave oven. I did not
the first time. And then later, he's like, I'm going to put you in an oven.
Oh, God.
Yeah, making light of tragedy.
In the context, it was fine, Jonesy. But yeah. So anyway, animated Batman, I'm a fan so far. moving on, glossing over.
Good.
I'm a fan so far. I will check out the others that you recommend in no particular order by the sounds of it on as far as the Elseworld version concerned. Or should I? Is there an order? I mean, Jammer's nodding saying, don't
I mean,
worry
yeah.
about
It depends on which
as
ones.
As long as it's Elseworld, it doesn't really
Right.
matter. Like if it's
Gotcha.
the ones with the connecting plot, obviously you should watch them in order.
And I would
Understood.
still argue that none of these are as good as the original animated series.
Okay.
Like that's
You
peak.
mean Batman the animated series?
Yeah, that's peak
Or
animated.
Justice
Batman.
League. Yeah.
Or even Batman Beyond, because you got your two keys to the franchise, which are Conroy and Hamill.
Yeah, I hate to say that I did not dig the voice actor of Batman at all.
Yeah, those are always touch and go. Some are fines. Like I love the guy from the Drew Carey show who does him in some serious movies, and actually the Harley Quinn cartoon, Bader or whatever, Diedrich Bader.
Yeah. Dietrich
Yeah,
Bader.
he's good in the serious ones, and he's good in Harley Quinn. He's played him several times. Yeah.
Yeah. Harley Quinn is better than this movie.
Oh yeah, that was my
Yeah,
favorite.
well,
That was my favorite meme that came out this week. Was they took the Joker. He turns around and says we live in a society. Instead, they took the clip from Harley Quinn because he's turning around. It actually matches his lips by the way they slowly turn around. He's like, "Where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce?" Which is one of my favorite quotes
I've seen that.
from
I don't
Harley
remember
Quinn.
that.
It's when he finds out that Batman's Bruce Wayne. He kills Scarecrow because I didn't want to know that. And he's like, Bruce Wayne of Wayne Corp. He's like, I put in my money years ago. Where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce?
So, you know what's funny? You guys are talking about this, and it was only up until this moment just now I realized that you guys were talking about HBO Max Harley Quinn and not Birds of
Yes.
Prey.
Yes.
My bad.
I mean,
Yes.
to be fair,
They're two
I
different
also
names.
think Birds of Prey is a better movie than this one.
False.
I like Birds of Prey a lot.
Jammer's going to mute again.
Just gonna go around the horn, mute everybody. Do you guys have any other thoughts about this film? No.
I recommend it.
Going twice.
It's like DC fans, even if you're
Yeah,
hesitant to watch
I
animation.
have to be off this call in less than 5 minutes. So
Okay.
we should get going.
The last thing I'll say about it is there was something that Batman did. He either killed someone or was about to kill someone, and it wasn't necessarily that, it was his willingness to kill that kind of surprised me. And I think it was when he was fighting his sensei at the end, when he stabs him with the sword. He didn't know that he was not going to die or come back to life. I was like, oh wow, you just fucking killed that dude. Like, okay.
And I knew Jammer was going to bring that up. I thought he would and be like, see, Batman kills. Batman doesn't kill a single human in that movie. He only kills monsters. That's why he can also kill parademons in
Why did
Justice
you
League
snipe
without
me? You
breaking any
sniped me
rules.
for something I didn't say.
Last week you attacked me on it. You were like, I'm goddamn tired of these fans who say Batman doesn't kill. Anyway,
Yeah, I am.
I was watching that. I'm like, Jammer might jump on me for that, but he didn't kill a human being.
That's funny. So yeah, that was it. So everybody recommends it. Jammer, I can't tell. Do you recommend it or yes or no?
I mean, if you're into DC animated movies, yeah. And if you're not into these movies, you're not going to dig this. Like, if you're not a DC fan, you're not really going to like. I can't.
I like how you're
can't-
sticking with the times. Like it's a
Dig it.
70s movie. Like, yeah, you're gonna dig this, baby.
I can't say that I can't point to any scene and say oh, watch this scene. It's cool.
Okay.
I don't think I could do that to any part of this movie, which is unfortunate. But it's fine. It was entertaining. I had a good time.
I can point to one scene right at the very beginning when the guy is playing cards with him and he wins the hand and he winks at the woman he's playing. He gives her that, he lays down his card, he wins the hand and looks up at the girl and gives her a little wink. I thought, that's it. There's my smooth talking bastard in the 70s. I like that. That's my one scene. It's in the first 30 seconds.
Okay.
I felt James Bond right from that moment. That was James Bond right there. He's taking
And the
that
part where
girl
he
home.
parachutes
dead
into
at
on
the
the
end
back of the
movie,
boat, and he says,
yeah, that's
Dragon.
it.
I thought you were gonna say it's when the hooker gets killed by the snakes in the bad guy's pit that doesn't actually come back. I totally thought that was coming back in a James Bond way when he had the room.
Yeah.
Where he's
Oh, yeah, he,
behind the
eats a
glass and
rat.
kills her. I was like, oh, that's coming back. Like, nope, never saw it again. Like, oh, okay, I guess.
Establishing evil, man.
So before we get off, the last thing I'll say is, so I don't know if you guys remember this. I implored the person who wanted to give me their tenant rant, and they finally did. I finally got it today. It was pretty good. It's pretty interesting. And what I gleaned from it was basically the idea that I need to go back and watch Tenet. Not like in a mean way, but Tenet. But,
every single time I hear Tenet, I go Tenet, and Kirsten's just like, no.
Tenet. Can we do that? Can we do that? Are we allowed to do that?
I don't know if you can. You might get canceled.
So I will say, so this came from Blue Hope. The last thing that they said was, I know a lot of Nolan fans, including myself, lost hope in Nolan's creative abilities after Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, but Tenet has restored my faith in him again. If Nolan continues doing movies at this quality, then I'm looking forward to his future projects. So Jonesy, I hope this rant helps alleviate some of your issues with Tenet. After watching it multiple times, I started to love and understand it even more. I do plan on watching it again. And so thanks, Blue Hope. I appreciate you reaching out and giving me your thoughts on the film. I feel like I really wanted to like the film, and it just fell flat for me at the end. We'll see what happens. See what happens going forward.
All right. Well, I got to hop out. So I will talk to you guys later. I will try to send. I have to hop into something in the next 30 minutes, Nick, and I'll see if I can send you the audio after that.
You better.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Wait.
Later.
Chinatown Detective next week.
Yes.
What's that?
Chinatown
Detective next.
Sure. Detective Chinatown.
Detective Chinatown. Detective Pikachu.
All right. Bye.
Adios.
What a loser.
All right.
Like, fuck, he's gone.
Glad he's gone. Jesus. And I think that's it. You guys ready? You guys ready to shut it down?
Yeah. Cut the check.
All right. Cut the check. So, dear listener, if you like what you heard, do all the socials. Like, rate, subscribe, comment, and share. We definitely appreciate it. Also, LRM has other great programs for your listening pleasure, as well as reading material on the website, lrmonline.com. Also, we got a Discord, so get on there. Say some stuff. I actually just added a gaming channel where I shared me getting shot up in Call of Duty Warzone. So if you like watching people die, come watch me get shot. But join us on our Discord to talk about other things other than me dying. Danny, where can you be found?
I can be found in the Twitterverse under Danny K. Bartlett. And yes, please come and join us on the Discord channel for many, many conversations, chats about anything you feel is relevant in the world. Come visit, come comment.
Soon. Nick Dahl, where can you be found?
I've also been on Discord recently to try to help you guys out. Though you guys always write stuff in different times than I do because
we're on the other side of the world.
Yeah. But I'm at Geeky Nick Dahl on Twitter. In addition to this podcast, I do Marvel Multiverse Mondays on Monday with Kyle, where true to his older show, The Katina, we talk for longer than the content even was. So if you want to listen to like an hour and a half review of a 38-minute episode, join us.
Okay. That sounds awesome. And you can, of course, find me on Twitter at Sir Jonesius, contributing to the website and right here on Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. Folks, as always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one. Hasta lasagna.
Don't get any on ya.
Mission accomplished.
You gotta like bang on the desk.
Yeah.
Break shit. I'm gonna break shit if I do that.